Now, on Sunday, there was the unfortunate news, the tragedy that involved the death of Cyrus Mistry, the former chairman of Tata Sons. And a medical officer now from the JJ hospital, which has conducted the autopsy in this particular matter, has said that Mr. Mistry had suffered from multiple injuries, a blunt thorax trauma during the course of the fatal car crash. The medical officer has also said that the injuries included vein ruptures causing severe internal bleeding. It is said that the impact on the bodies of both Mistry and Jehangir Pandole was sudden and forceful because of the speed of the car. Let me go across to Shivani for more updates on the exact details of the autopsy. What does it reveal, Shivani? What can you tell us about what the autopsy says about Mr. Mistry's death?
Clearly, it's been notified that there was no external injury as such, but yes, there was all internal injury which led to the death of Cyrus Mistry and the other person in the same matter. But of course, a medical officer from the JJ hospital has also clearly said that the impact on the body of both Mistry and Pandole was sudden and forceful because of the speed of the car. It led to the multiple injuries and blunt thorax trauma, and that is why they both died. In fact, multiple injuries also included, the rupturing of veins causing internal bleeding. However, the primary autopsy report could only indicate to some of the vague symptoms, but it is clearly been said that it was all internal injury which led. And also, we have seen that how the videos have come out of the mortal remains of Mistry and Pandole, where there was no external injury that could be identified, and that's why the primary report indicates that it was all internal. In fact, the tongue of Mr. Mistry was also clearly crushed, and it has been notified that because of the overspeeding of the car and not wearing the belt in the car, the sudden shock happened because of the accident, and all the internal bleeding happened. And it took for a while for them also to understand what exactly happened, and for the help also that they received little later. And that's why with the multiple organs getting dysfunctioned because of the sudden trauma, the death happened. But clearly it has also given the fact that there was no external bleeding because of the car, because they were sitting in the back seat, and that is why we can understand that only because of the internal bleeding this entire death scenario took place.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot for that, Shivani. In fact, the tragic death of Cyrus Mistry and Jehangir Pandole has triggered yet another debate on road safety, and experts have weighed in on whether or not to make the wearing of the seat belt if you're sitting in the rear seat as mandatory as well. Let's listen into this special report compiled by Shivya Malhotra.
So in a car crash, when we speak about moderate to high speed, the driver as well as the passenger who is not wearing a seat belt or the rear seat belt continues to move forward at the speed of the vehicle until and unless there is an object to stop the passenger. Now, if you are not wearing your rear seat belt, then there are of course scenarios wherein you can injure not only yourself but also the other persons who are inside the car. So let's have a look at this representative video which we are showing you here. And the first scenario is when the collision happens between a passenger and the with the interior of the vehicle. Now this happens in the high impact crashes, and here of course you will have to face severe repercussions. Now the second scenario as we speak about is when a collision happens between the driver and the passenger. If the passenger who is sitting behind the driver is not wearing a rear seat belt, of course a major collision is going to happen, and it is going to harm both the individuals inside the car. The third scenario as we speak about is if a collision happens and there is an ejection through windscreen or windows or even the sunroof, as we are showing in these visuals here on the screens. In this scenario, you're not only prone to injuries but also to death. So it is of course important for both the driver and the passenger to wear a seat belt. Remember, yes, we have airbags inside the car, but they are only going to be effective if both the driver and the passenger are wearing the seat belt as well as the rear seat belt.
Time to slip into a very short break. News and updates will continue on the other side. Stay tuned.